I go down to film and then I get this. I get this. Take two. All right. Let's talk about our first week back to school because it's been a week. Man, oh man, 5th grade, y'all. 5th grade is fun. Let's talk about it. So we had our first official week back. Today would have been the start of our week 2. So I just want to fill you in on some of the things that we did. So I officially found our schedule. I think I know how to tweak things to make it work a little bit better because it was, I don't know, some days I feel like we were schooling way too much, too long. And then we were like losing our mojo and stuff like that. So I need to tweak our schedule around. I originally was just going to have her do her language arts through the Good and the Beautiful on 2 days of the week. I'm changing that. She's going to do it every day like she used to, and that way it doesn't like take too much time, because apparently there's a lot more involved in the books and the geography and the art, and I need her to not spend like a solid hour doing just language arts. So we're gonna have to split that up. Overall, it was a really, really good week. We are still on the struggle bus with math. I feel like we're always just going to be on the struggle bus because it's not our strongest subject. I get a lot of pushback, but she's also not comprehending the videos as much as I'd like her to. And I don't know if it's the videos themselves or if it's a her thing. I can't quite pinpoint that. So I don't know. I might have to find something that has a little bit more of a gentler approach. Or I need to go through and like cross off half the problems or something, so that it could take her sometimes a solid hour just to get through a math lesson. And that's frustrating because it's not her favorite subject. And so she may claim that she likes to do math, but when it comes to doing the math, it's just completely different. So I don't know, I need to think about if we need to change or if we are going to stick with it and just scale back some of the problems, or split the lessons to where it's just going to take us longer to complete. Now, I know that we can do that because we are homeschoolers. I just don't know if that's needed for every lesson. So we're just gonna have to play it by ear and see how that goes. I'm going to be flat out honest, is that is not something I'm so wired to do, like one lesson per day, that I don't know how I can in my brain convince myself to slow us down. I know that's a me problem. I know that's something I have to work on. I'm just always in the mindset that I want her to finish in the school year. And if we did it that way, I know that we might not catch up to finish by the day that I have set for us to finish. So we'll see. I also just might scale it back to 3 lessons a week instead of doing 4 lessons a week, and maybe alternating to something else on the other day to help with those facts and just like basic practice. What I have noticed is that she has to go back, even in the first 4 lessons that we did, to remember how to do something. And I read somewhere that other people struggled with this level for that same reason, is a lot of the review or concepts that are in like the practice review pages, their kids had to spend a lot of time going back to remember how to do something. So, I mean, we're only on lesson 5, y'all. So I'm not sure about this level yet. So it's been a week. I can't make that judgment yet, but we're gonna see. Science was great, y'all. But there's no way we could do one chapter in one day. We're definitely gonna have to split that up throughout the week. And I think we can manage to do it on 3 days. If we did it Monday, Thursday, and then Friday, still keeping Friday as our science. We ended up doing her spelling test on Thursday, so we didn't have to do anything but science on Friday. Now, I don't think either one of us were in the mindset to school on Friday because we were never schooled on Friday. So I don't know. We'll see. I feel like everything is still going to change and fluctuate when co-op starts, which is also another thing because we're also planning a family vacation, which may take place like the first 2 weeks of the start of co-op. So didn't want to do that, but that happened to us before, so it would not be the first time, and it's not a big deal. But that might be a 2-day-a-week thing. I have not 100% decided how I want to do that, and they have not come up with the like final logistics for the start of co-op and the prices and all of that. So once I get that, I can get more of an idea what we're going to be doing at home, hopefully sooner than later, as we are literally going into August. So hopefully that all gets finalized really soon. History, oh my goodness, you guys. So history, we're using The Good and the Beautiful, their brand new history. And while I loved it, we are in the past, I think a lot of people have talked about how The Good and the Beautiful barely mentions God, especially throughout their language arts or their math, and that if you were secular, that you could probably get away with that. I'm going to flat out tell you, don't do it for history, because there is a whole lot of a Christian viewpoint. We are talking about Noah. We are talking about creation. A lot of religion is put in here, mixed in with history. So I don't know if that's just because it's the beginning of the course, or if it's going to be like this through every single lesson, but my guess is yes. Or maybe it's just part of the first few as they got into creation and stuff like that, but I honestly don't know because we're only on the 3rd lesson. So we have not gotten to the big book of history stories. We've done a couple things on their timeline. Love the stickers. I love the questions that they ask. I think they're very thoughtful. And we are doing this twice a week. So that has worked out great. It does not take a lot of time. She loves the activities in the student book. I absolutely love that it's in color, and I mean, it's beautiful. It just is. So I absolutely 100% can say that the student workbook is worth it if you're on the fence. Also, the timeline book is phenomenal as well. When you open up to an actual timeline, and then there's stickers where you can add on to the timeline. So we have been enjoying that. So history, I don't know, it's been a hit so far. Our reading, which is new this year through Hearth and Story, I think that's called. I don't honestly know. I keep wanting to say Hearth and Stone, but I'm pretty sure it's Hearth and Story. So I put her first unit study in a flat binder, and so she's been going to town with that. We're doing 1 poem a week, and then she reads 1 chapter per day and then completes whatever question is on for that chapter. So like for chapter 5, it was plot in a sentence or 2, explain the Ramble family's financial problem. And so it's very simple, but I think it's just what we need for reading. I just do. So she's reading this big old chapter book, Over the Moon. I know this is backwards for you, but so far she's been enjoying the book. So the language arts has been great so far. Like I said, math has been kind of a struggle. She is really enjoying the art book that I got off Etsy. I'll try to remember to link it below, but it is good. It is good. And I told her she can literally do this anytime she wanted. It does not have to be like scheduled into our day or curriculum. So I think that's all oh, and grammar has been a really big hit. So we're doing Fix It Grammar in the nose tree level, just because I wanted to start from the bottom and work our way through it, because grammar has kind of not always been our strong suit either. And so she's loving it. She wanted me to hear her story sentences so far, because she knows that every time she completes a sentence, that at the end she would have completed a story. And so she's really, really excited about that. I love how like basic it is. And she's doing really well. We are still okay with spelling. This is nothing new for her. She has done this for a couple years in the past. Still doing handwriting through Zehner Bloser. And then the only other thing that I have added into our daily is this. So yes, we're doing science with Beast Academy. If you missed that video, it's a couple days back. But I think this is a good just like day to day, like day 1, day 2 book. And it was such a simple lesson that she was able to really grasp the information quickly. And that I think it's going to just be a good way of like getting the basics of science across, because honestly, we've not done a whole lot of that in the past. So we tried to dive into the fallacy detective. Started a really big meltdown. She was not a fan. She did not like how the characters were talking in the very first lesson, because we've got a surfer dude in here, and I don't know what triggered it, but she was like, absolutely not. But we may come back to it and see. I also have the thinking toolbox, reasoning skills, and so maybe we'll check this one out. I'm not sure. I'm not doing these things every week. I don't think there's a need for it. The only thing that we haven't done or started to do is writing, and I'm going to try to pick that up this week, but she is doing that in her other curriculums, and it may not be like formal writing or a formal writing curriculum, but she's getting writing in. So I'm not overly concerned or worried about that right now. But overall, we had a really good week. The desk is working out great. I love our new desk. This is from IKEA. I showed it in our back to school, first day of school video. And I don't know, she did her watercolor picture today for The Good and the Beautiful, and we really love that. I also bought her some watercolor pens, which are awesome. If you don't have watercolor pens, find them in my Amazon storefront, which is linked down below, because they're freaking amazing. And that's pretty much it. So she did really well last week, and I am eager to see how the weeks progress. We got to tweak a few things, and I think we're going to be okay. I think science, thank God I finally found something that works, that doesn't seem to be boring. But we definitely are going to have to do science a little bit more than once a week. Otherwise it's going to take us a really long time to get through that science book. If we just did it once a week and we spaced it out like over time. Plus I think then that would get boring, because then we're staying on the same subject for a really long time. And that was kind of our issue before. So yeah, I mean, everything seems to be going well. I didn't know what I wanted to add in here. Overall, July, yeah, let's talk about July in a different video, because I feel like I have a lot more to say and I'm already 16 minutes in. So that was the first week. Overall, it went great. I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I will see you in my next one.